Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel Held Dominance. Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe, and also click that notification bell if you're enjoying what you see and if you want to see more. Coming up in today's episode, information about the BetFred Women's Super League fixtures, TV coverage, and new teams announced. Super League and IRFL talk rules to come back in for 2022. And Tyrone talks about his Dragons French move. And we begin to get there with the news that the Women's BetFred Super League fixtures for 2022 have been released, with confirmation that Sky Sports will provide live and exclusive coverage of 2 regular season matches to be played on Thursday evenings as a double header with the BetFred Super League games in the men's draw, as well as repeating last year's coverage of the semi-finals and grand final. Sky will show the fixture between St Helens and their grand final opponents, Leeds Rhinos, in a repeat of the grand final on Thursday, June the 23rd, while the Leeds Rhinos home game against Wigan Warriors at Headingley on Thursday, July the 21st, will be shown on Sky Sports as well, each case kicking off at 5:30 PM as part of the double headers. The BetFred Super League Women's division has expanded again for 2022 to 12 teams, leading to a split competition decision in 2 groups of 6, with 1 up and down between each of the groups for 2023. In Group 1, St Helens will launch their title defence with a home game against Wigan Warriors on the weekend of the 15th of May, when Leeds also face local rivals in Castleford Tigers. And the 2021 Challenge Cup runners-up, York City, face Huddersfield Giants on their travels, who earned a place in the top 6 by winning the BetFred Women's Super League Shield last autumn. In what's called Group 2 of the BetFred Women's Super League, newcomers Barrow Raiders and Lee Miners Rangers both start with home games against Warrington Wolves for Barrow and Trinity for the Miners. Bradford Bulls also face Featherstone at Odsal in a repeat of the first Super League Grand Final in 2017. There are 10 rounds of fixtures culminating in late August, when the top 4 in each group will qualify for the semi-finals, followed by a grand final, which is scheduled on the weekend of September the 17th or 18th. Further details of the venue for the semi-finals and the grand final and ticket sales will also be announced soon, with the BetFred Women's Super League aiming to build on the success of the 2021 grand final, when St Helens beat Leeds Rhinos in front of a record crowd of over 4,000 people, as well as the Sky Sports cameras. Also returning in 2022 is a BetFred Women's Super League South, and after a successful inaugural season in the 2021 season, when the Cardiff Demons beat the British Army in the grand final based in London, an application has been accepted for a new team to join. As it has been announced, the Oxford Cavaliers have joined the league for the upcoming season. Their campaign will kick off in mid-March with the first 3 rounds of group matches in the BetFred Women's Challenge Cup, followed by a quarter final on the weekend of April the 9th and 10th, with the semi-finals 2 weeks later, and then the final played at Ellen Road in Leeds on Saturday, May the 7th, as part of a triple header including the 2 semi-finals of the men's game. Speaking on this, Sky Sports Director of Multi-Sports, Helen Fulk, has said, "We are delighted to provide our customers with more live BetFred Women's Super League matches than ever before, with 2 regular season games in addition. Showcasing these games as a doubleheader alongside the men's BetFred Super League games will provide greater visibility for the women's game as it continues to grow. We're proud of our continued commitment to the sport of rugby league here at Sky Sports and very much look forward to the upcoming season. This sentiment was also echoed by the RFL's head of growth and general manager of the BetFred Women's Super League, Thomas Brindle, who said every season brings a significant step forward for the Women's Rugby League, and confirmation that Sky Sports will show live coverage of 2 regular season fixtures as well as the semi-finals and grand final is a great announcement to make as we publish the fixtures. Sky's live coverage of the 2 grand finals in 2019 and 2021 was a huge boost to the profile and prestige of the BetFred Women's Super League. And this is further evidence of the great support of the women's game. Brindle, who's also been the head coach of the Women's Wales team for the last few years, talked about the status of the women's game and the decisions that have been made. Basically, he said the decision to split the 2 groups of 6 in 2022 has been taken to ensure greater quality as well as quantity, with a focus on England's women's preparations for the home World Cup at the end of the season. After the frustration and disappointment of the COVID-enforced postponement of the 2020 season, 2021 was a year of real progress and encouragement with the launch of the BetFred Women's Super League South and a number of new girl competitions and teams. That trend has continued for 2022 with a total of 140 teams spread across 50 clubs, compared to 78 teams in 2019 and 98 last year. And already this year, we've seen Salford Red Devils play their first match against Swinton Lions. And we welcome Oxford Cavaliers to the BetFred Women's Super League South. The appointment of Jodie Cunningham as the National Women's and Girls Development Manager last November has strengthened the RFL team, and as ever, we are grateful to our many volunteers who have helped to drive the development of the women's and girls game. And also we're delighted that more and more continue to do so. So the fixtures are out for the BetFred Women's Super League in the north. The Souths are yet to come out, but we'll surely be able to see them soon. But a new team in the south as well, the Oxford Cavaliers. That's good news, they're growing the league down there as well. Anyway, here are the fixtures for the first round of games in the BetFred Super League Women's North. Weekend of the May the 14th and May the 15th for all the games. We see Castleford play Leeds Rhinos, Huddersfield Giants versus York City Knights, St Helens versus Wigan. Barrow Raiders in Group 2 are against Warrington Wolves. Bradford Bulls play Featherstone Rovers. Lee Miners Rangers play Wakefield Trinity in the 12 teams. If your team's listings are of interest to you, you'll be able to find the full fixture list on the Match Centre at www.rugbyleague.com. So there has been a decision from the Super League and the RFL with that Scrums will be returning to all competitions in 2022 from the end of January. This announcement follows a meeting with the BetFred Super League, Championship and League One clubs, and the RFL's Laws Committee recommended the return of Scrums for 2022 at the end of due to the December meeting, provided 85% of players across the BetFred Super League and Championship competitions, which kicks off in the coming weeks, have been double vaccinated. Considering the recommendations later in December, the RFL board deferred the decision until January to allow more time for vaccination rates to increase by the clubs and to assess the impact of the Omicron variant. And now the 85% threshold was completed and reached by the Super League and Championship clubs respectively. Other relevant factors included the increase in knowledge regarding the impact of the Omicron variants, since December, reduced isolation periods for close contacts, and the view of clubs and other stakeholders. The board have therefore accepted a recommendation from the RLFL executive for Scrums to return. So, in all competitions starting next weekend, the 29th and 31st of January, in the round 1 fixtures of the BetFred Championship, the second round of the BetFred Challenge Cup. This will also apply across the community game from that date also. The decision has been taken mindful of the potential risks, but against the backdrop of a wider landscape related to COVID and the deregulation of governmental rules relating to COVID, the meeting also provided a final opportunity for all clubs to provide input into the changes to the COVID fixture frame, which is going to be applied in the 2022 season. This will now go to the RFL board for the final sign-off. As previously advised, it is envisaged that the COVID framework under which league positions were determined by points per win point percentage in 2020 and 2021 will be replaced this season, and any team unable to fulfill a fixture, the teams in the Super League or the RFL, will be subject to a 40 points to nil defeat scoreline, save in the exceptional circumstances which are to be determined by the RFL board, which include a club being able to play a match due to a required shutdown by either the RFL's multiple games group or Public Health England. The meeting of the BetFred Super League clubs also discussed recent developments related to travel between France and the UK. Now being that there's 2 clubs from France in Super League Europe, and their likely effects on the ability of unvaccinated players to participate in fixtures involving Catalan Dragons and Toulouse Olympique in France. With 3 weeks remaining until the French clubs play their first games against English opposition in 2022, the matter will be kept under review for the time being. And finally today we have a look into the interview that Tyrone has done recently about him hoping to hit in the ground running with Catalan Dragons and focus on footy now that he's out of the Goldfish Bowl in Australia, to do with the media. The 25-year-old utility back was released after winning the 2021 Grand Final by Penrith Panthers following comments on social media. Said he's keen to do all his talking on the pitch this Super League season. The game is not as media driven as back in Australia, and players can just focus on their game. That's a real bonus, said May. I know a few Aussies who are playing in Super League, and they tell me they can relax and just play footy. There are some familiar faces already for May at Catalans, which made his decision to move to France a whole lot easier. As he said, I have had a connection with Alex Chan, former Dragons prop forward and current general manager of the club. He is one of my development coaches when I was 18, and I knew he was over here. I heard very good things about the club and the coach Steve McNamara. He is very well thought of from his time at the Sydney Roosters, so it was an easy choice to make the move here. I remember Benji Garcia. When he was in Australia, we used to call him Frenchie, and he was a really good player. He's the captain at Catalans now, and he always been someone I'd like to play alongside. I played with Kiwi centre Dean Ware at Penrith, and I spoke to him a lot before making the move here, and he's been very helpful. We had a chat on the phone after the grand final and I jokingly said, you'll never know, I might come over to France and join you. So it's a bit crazy how things have happened after that, and here I am. May joined pre-season training with the Dragons last week and was immediately settled into the playing group. He said his play is feeling good. The flight over was a long one, but it's an easy transition since he has arrived. Plus, he's taking the move very seriously. I've been training back in Australia because I didn't want to get out here and be out of shape or unfit because the season starts pretty early over here. The Dragons are a close-knit group and they remind me a lot of Penrith, but the French guys seem very open and welcoming to overseas players. There's no divide here, everyone gets along, and there's a good vibe about the club. I cannot wait to get out there and play. All the positive vibes are coming out from the controversial back, and I hope he is a success in Super League, as that will strive other teams to be better too. It won't be just a whitewash. And they will be one of the teams that I'm sure will be aiming for the playoffs and even another grand final. So, let's see how he adds himself to this jigsaw and see if he becomes a key piece that gets them that one step further. Excuse me. And that's it for another episode, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to press that like button, subscribe, and also click that notification bell for any updates that may be coming your way from me about rugby league. Tell me what your thoughts are on today's episode, as I love your feedback. BetFred Women's Super League is coming back, and there's 3 extra teams. We find out more information about the league fixtures, and also what their aims are for. Scrums are back. Still to be 100% ratified, but as of the first games in the championship and also round 2 of the BetFred's Challenge Cup, they'll be involved. Tell me what your thoughts are on Tyrone's mains initial impressions to moving to France. He seems a bit more calmer, a bit more happier about it. Plus he has some friends down there that he can keep on with. But anyway, that's for you to tell me in the comments. In the meantime, share this video worldwide, tag people in, get them to subscribe. You never know, there could be some benefits in the future. No, I don't like bribery. But one last thing, stay safe, all the best, and I'll see you in the next episode.